Moving on with the webinar, I would like to invite Mr. Ilam Shrestha from Kathmandu University Architecture Students Association for a short intro of club and speaker Mr. Bikalpa Poudel. Please hand over the floor to the speaker Mr. Bikalpa for his presentation afterwards. Thank you.
Thank you, Srishti. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Respected Dean Sir, honorable guests, distinguished speaker, presidents, all the participants and passionate audience present here today. Good evening. I am Ilam Shrestha, Secretary of KUARSA and third year architecture student, present here for the short introduction to our club and the speaker of the event. I am delighted to be speaking in this platform as a representative of KUARSA committee and all the architecture students of Kathmandu University on today's occasion of National Science Day. KUARSA, Kathmandu University Architecture Students Association, is a departmental club established under the Department of Civil Engineering in School of Engineering, Kathmandu University. With architecture program started in KU at 2017, our departmental club KUARSA was formed on 23rd September 2019. The club holds the motto, a step towards proficiency, and thus has worked and conducted different events, which are inauguration ceremony, community events for preservation of traditional monuments, online talk programs about architecture design process and beyond design education, art, photography, and writing commissions. We have also coordinated with KUCC to launch the annual departmental exhibition Sankalpa and have also been involved in programs in coordination with different departmental clubs and non-departmental clubs. We believe in learning, not just in classroom, but beyond, and also in developing coordination among all, and thereby we are actively working in different events which will develop the skills, learnings, and coordination among the students. And now, with this special delight, I would like to introduce you to the speaker, Mr. Bikalpa Poudel, President of KUARSA, for his presentation on how COVID-19 is shaping architecture education. Bikalpa is currently studying in third year, Bachelor's of Architecture in Kathmandu University, and will be talking about the topic from his viewpoint as a student. His approach of viewing and observation of things is quite remarkable, and thus will be presenting his knowledge, experience, and research, and giving ideas and insight on architecture education and how it is being shaped in the pandemic and is taking place according to the new normal. So I would like to hand over my mic to Mr. Bikalpa Poudel.
Thank you, Ilam. Respected Honorable Minister, Ex-Minister, Engineer Ganesh Shah, respected Dean of School of Science, Dean of School of Engineering, distinguished speakers, dignitaries from the ministries and various universities, science enthusiasts, and fellow audience. It is my honor to give a presentation on the occasion of 8th National Science Day 2020. The topic of my presentation is COVID-19 in shaping architecture educations. Here is the table of content. At first, I would like to talk about the introduction. Then I will be talking about the various aspects of architecture educations which has been impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic, and then I will be sharing some of the statistics and data regarding the survey we have conducted. Similarly, at last, I will be explaining about the possible solution to mitigate the current problems. Background: COVID-19 pandemic, also known as the coronavirus pandemic, is caused by a severe respiratory syndrome coronavirus to SARS-CoV-2, significantly health, economy, industry, tourism, and education is no exception to it. According to the UNESCO report, 1.6 billion students across 191 countries have been deprived of education. In context of Nepal, it is estimated about 9 million students are affected due to the school and university closure. Overview of architecture education. Architecture education is all about art and science of designing the buildings, spaces, structures. Curriculum is very much based on active learning techniques, which includes group project, site visits, studio work. It requires the face-to-face design consultations, studio work, model making, and critics. apart from the regular classes, we often spend much of our time doing the projects, design projects. So the classroom settings of the design studio is a bit different from the regular class. Each student is provided with the individual decks where they carry on their projects, design projects, model makings, design consultations, and many more. These are the pictures representing the various activities which we do in the studio classes, like presenting, giving the final presentations, design consultations, taking the regular classes, and making the work models, and many more. Along with the studio class, architecture curriculum is very much based on field visits, peer interactions, practical subjects such as surveying, and workshops, various subjects related to metal workshop and carpentry, model makings, and participating in various extracurricular activities too. Now, moving toward the second section of the presentations, impact of COVID-19 in architecture educations. Widespread of the COVID-19 caused the worldwide lockdown. As a consequence of the lockdown, many universities and colleges were shut down. Compensating the loss of the education loss, there were many steps taken, such as the concept of distance learning have been implemented. Similarly, the introduction of EdTech learning started. Type of assessment and assignment have been modified. Mode of lecture deliverance has been transformed. This is the picture regarding our regular class. This is the leftmost picture represents the classes regarding the theoretical and numerical based classes, whereas in the rightmost picture represents the practical or design based classes. Due to the coronavirus pandemic, these classes have been transformed or shifted to an online mode of classes. This rightmost two pictures represents the virtual class shift to virtual classes. In this to run these classes, we use the various online tools, platforms such as Google Meet, Zoom, and various Google products to continue the online process of learning. As I have explained before, there has been a change in the mode of assignment and assessment. Before the pre-COVID cases, before the coronavirus pandemic, we used to build the physical model of the various portions of the buildings. Now we do the same things, but in the with the help of the software. This is the software-based model, generated, and we do used to submit our projects in the hard copy or paper sheet. Now we do the same thing, but with the help of the digital media and the software, and we present that there is a transformation from the hard copy sheet to a digital sheets. Along with the shift to an online mode of learning, there comes the challenges. Basically, there are four kind of challenges we as an architecture student we face. The first one is the digital learning is creating an inequality in access of education. Taking a real life example, a friend of mine who is currently living in Rukum might not have a adequate or proper internet access or the resources or the technology compared to a student who is living in the urban area. Similarly, another challenge we face is the lack of resources and the materials. Due to the transformation to the online mode of learning, we mostly have to rely on the soft copy of the books and online resources for to continue the teaching learning environment. Similarly, another biggest challenge for us is to maintain the quality of learning. Under the immense pressure to catch up with the current curriculum and syllabus, the focus is much more in finding and finishing the covering the syllabus rather than developing the skills and focusing on the quality of learning. Since without no practical class running, there might be a question whether the quality of learning is ensured or not. Similarly, this is the due to the coronavirus pandemic. This is a situation of the crisis, and many things are going around, such as anxiety, stresses. So it is much difficult for a student to completely catch up with the learning environment, or give complete focus to regular learning. So not only there are challenges, but also we have the positive aspects of e-learning. For example, there are basically 4 types of positive aspects. The first one is the continuity, educational continuity. At least we are getting the education from the online mode. So there is no more fear of semester loss or academic loss. Similarly, we are exploring the various learning techniques and technologies. There has been immense innovations in the field of education technology in recently. Similarly, there has been a flexibility in class timing. We do not have to, there is no constant of taking a class or attending a class from 9 to 4 or a regular office time. Similarly, the final positive aspect of the online learning is saving of travel expenses and other miscellaneous expenses. Okay, as a student of architecture, we student from Kathmandu University we had utilized this time engaging us in various productive and creative works. First, as a departmental club, we organized the KUARSA Talk series. I started the KUARSA Talk series, where we invited the various experts and architects, or the experts of their field, to talk about the various aspects of architecture curriculum, construction, engineering. Similarly, as a student, we participated in international competitions such as Asia, and also we also organized the creative competitions with the participation from the various universities around Nepal. Now, moving forward, we came into the third part of our presentation, comparative analysis on pre and post COVID educations. We in this portion we have conducted the survey with the architecture students of School of Engineering in IOE Pulcho campus, Tiruvani University, with the satisfaction level ranging from 1 to 10, rating the physical class learning and online class learning. It incorporated various aspects related to the education's learning processes. In this survey, 56 students participated. Among them, 26 were the male and 30 were the female. So, from the data and statistics obtained from the survey, we found that the effectiveness in understanding of the physical mode of learning or in-class learning is much more higher compared to the online mode of learning. Similarly, the similar case is seen in case of learning method. Learning method were taken as a good initiative, but there is also a difficulty in adaptation with the technologies. Now, peer learning and support were negatively, in this data, we find that the peer learning and support were negatively affected due to the closure of studio culture, and drastic shift from the physical class to online class modality resulted in very much communication gap between the teachers and the students. Now, these are the major problem faced during the online classes are poor internet connections and hard to access the materials. About 62.5 students shared the major problem has a poor internet connection, whereas 58.9% students share their problem as a hard to access the materials. So we also had conducted a survey regarding which exercise method can be a most effective for the current scenario. So we get 82.1% of the students prefer the presentations exercise to be a much effective method compared to other methods such as individual projects, design projects, and similarly with 53.6% students prefer the drawing and sketches. So another survey was conducted about the effectiveness of the courses. From this survey, we found that the theoretical and the numerical type courses were found to be much more effective compared to the mixed type courses or the practical types courses. Not only with the students, but also we have conducted the survey with the teachers. The data are as follows. Only 12.5% of the tutors prefer the online media of learning, and 75% prefer the blended method of physical mode of learning with the online mode of learning, and remaining 12% prefer the traditional method of learning. When moving to the online mode, not only has a negative impact, but also has a positive impact on acoustic, noise control, student punctuality. With the survey, we found that with the shift to a more online media, tutors had adapted the flexibility in teaching personalized learning for the students. The major challenges with the move on online media felt by the tutors were the communication gap between the teachers and also difficulty in teaching the fundamental concepts. The thought on the physical class with the blend of online classes were expressed in very optimistic way. Now, so the final portion of the presentation. So how can we deal with this kind of situations? These are the possible solutions. The change in the pattern of assignment, as I have previously mentioned, that the smaller projects might help to mitigate with the problems. Similarly, resuming the university with the new classroom modalities and safety measures, continuing the practical subject in the next semester, and continuing the theoretical and numerical based subject during the pandemic period can be possible solutions. Another possible solutions to fight back COVID-19 and continue our regular educations is we can upgrade the e-learning platforms. For example, in case of the Kathmandu University, ELF can come into play as an effective learning forum. So the training and workshop to the teacher could be very effective, because as we the online there was a very drastic change from the physical mode of learning to the online mode of learning without the proper guidance and without the proper training to the teachers. So it is failed. Most of the teachers from the survey, we found that none of the teachers before the pandemic have ever familiar with the online mode of training. And similar thought was shared by the Dr. Jyoti Upadhyay, professor of Kathmandu University. She says online system has many advantages. Some hindrances can be overcome if the training is provided to teachers and students on online mode of assessment. And similar thought was shared by the Moish Raj Bhatta, lecturer of Kathmandu University. Faculty, he says, faculty development trainings, increasing the student-teacher interactions, reducing the teaching load of the faculty, and deciding the evaluation scheme might be a possible solutions So, in my opinion, remote learning might be a temporary solution, but not a permanent, because after all, education is not just a teaching learning. It is also about the conversation, social interaction, and exploring the various dimensions of learning, and engaging in various activities of university life, and also enjoying the university and college life. So these are the various events as a student, as a part of the university life, such as the acoustic evening and field excursion, annual event, and from this type of event, community events, and from this type of events also, we as a student lots much more and acquire much more knowledge and expand our knowledge of horizon. Now, if we can also resume the classes or the university, but we have to reconfiguration. There should be a reconfiguration of the classes. For example, allocating the decks at the 6 feet distance and orienting a decks in a particular direction, so we can limit the face-to-face interaction between the students. So it might reduce the chances of coronavirus infections. Similarly, we can create a division using the screen panels. It is also another possible solutions to resume the classes. So we can adopt the various safety measures and follow the guideline of WHO, proper hand washing, regular hand washing in a regular basis, providing the sanitizers in the various area of the university and colleges, and wearing the masks can be some sort of solutions so that we could resume and go back to our normal classes. So another possible solution is the optimization of available resources. We can repurpose the larger spaces like warehouse, auditorium, library, cafeteria to accommodate the more number of the students. Even the outdoor spaces of Kathmandu University or any other universities or the colleges can be used with the proper precautions. So regarding the COVID-19, regarding the post-COVID classes, we asked the experts and academics, educators about their view on how COVID will change the paradigm of architecture educations and how can we prepare for it. So, Anju Malla Pradhan, president of SONA, expressed her view as, although there is a negative situation around due to the coronavirus pandemic, but we can also use these situations in a way that we read and expand the knowledge of our horizons and making the best days, making the use of of the pandemic days by using the maximum utilization of the digital media. About the B.S.The program coordinator from the Kathmandu University also expressed similar view, but he has a slight different opinion. He says it is a time to assess the new normal. So he also added the future of teaching can be blend of traditional physical mode of learning and new online mode of learning. So finally, I think COVID-19 is not just a crisis, but also an opportunity, because it is an alertness to prepare for such kind of situation in the future, and it is also a time we could rethink about our education systems so that we could have a more innovation in the field of education technology. Also, we can improve our existing infrastructures and resources to implement the concept of inclusive and effective learning. Finally, I would like to take this opportunity to express my sincere gratification to all the executive members of KUARSA for their constant support and help during the journey of making this presentation. And also, I would like to thank Professor Dr. Kanaya Shah for the opportunity to participate as a speaker in such a great platform. Thank you everyone for your patience.
Thank you so much, Mr. Bikalpa. भर्खरै एकदमै जोश जागरका साथ आफ्नो प्रस्तुति दिनुहुने युवा प्रस्तुतालाई हार्दिक धन्यवादको साथै अझै प्रगतिशील तरिकाले अगाडि बढ्न सकोस् भन्ने युवामय शुभकामना व्यक्त गर्दछु. Thank you so much, Mr. Bikalpa. We appreciate your time and effort in sharing your knowledge with us. Many thanks to Mr. Ilam and team members of Kathmandu University Architecture Students Association.